Carsillo, and welcome to the very first episode of From My Man Cave, a weekly look at the world of sports from my sometimes unique perspective. Now, for those of you who know who I am, I worked at ESPN for 3 years, and of course, I am a huge sports fan. I also love comic books and video games. So I also did a vlog called From My Mom's Basement. Because I couldn't talk about sports through any outlet but ESPN at the time, that was about video games and comic books and whatnot. Now I work for a video game magazine, so kind of in a flip-flop, I can't talk about video games aside from that particular outlet, but I figured I could talk about sports. And honestly, folks, this is a great time to be an American football fan because, let's be honest, it's the beginning of the playoffs. It's wild card weekend. It's part of the reason why I'm trying to get this up now because, mind you, much like From My Mom's Basement, From My Man Cave will grow and will develop and we'll add new segments and whatnot as time goes on. But I had to get something out tonight because, quite honestly, I just can't stop thinking about the games this weekend. It is going to be 4 huge matchups. You can predict them, but let's be honest, that's why they play the game, right? Because something's going to happen that's going to throw everybody for a loop that you just don't see coming. But I'm going to try to see it coming anyway. So, 4 games, we're going to start in the AFC. And also, unlike those pundits out there who have the personalities of plywood, I'm going to give you my predictions for the entire rest of the playoffs. I don't mind being wrong. I'm not afraid to eat crow. But I'm also going to rub in everybody's faces if I was right and be like, woo, I got you. I knew it. I'm a bit of a sore winner, actually, now that I think about it. So, sorry about that. But we'll see. We got 4 weeks of playoffs coming up. It's going to be awesome. We're starting with Wild Card Weekend. Like I said, we'll then move through the rest of the playoffs. First set of games in the AFC, Bengals are going to demolish the Chargers. All right, look, on paper, every single position player the Bengals have is better than those in the Chargers, except for Andy Dalton versus Philip Rivers. And honestly, as long as Andy Dalton just doesn't throw 4 interceptions like he did last week against the Ravens, and by the way, the Bengals still found a way to win, there's no way that the Chargers are going to overcome the Bengals in Cincinnati. Mike Zimmer's defense is phenomenal. It constantly finds a way to get pressure on the quarterback. Honestly, there's no way, I think, for the Bengals to mess this one up. And finally, they're going to get a playoff win. It's been 24 years now? 1990? So yeah, 24 years since they got a playoff win. They're finally going to end that drought. Definitely going to pick the Bengals there. Next game, Colts are going to beat the Chiefs. It's going to be much closer, though, than the Week 14 matchup that these two teams had with the Colts won 23-7. The Chiefs are a little bit healthier. Not a lot. Still banged up at some positions. Tamba Ali being his knees tweaked. They still don't know if he's going to play. But to be honest, the Colts overall are a better team. They're clicking right now. Momentum is a huge thing come playoff time. The Colts have it. The Chiefs don't. They've lost 5 of their last 7, and they look nothing like the team that started the season 9-0. I think that they're going to give up a good fight, but I think that the Colts are just too good all around to lose this one, especially in Indianapolis. So there you go. The Colts are going to beat the Chiefs. Now, that means in the AFC that you're going to have the Colts go to play the Broncos, and you're going to have the Bengals go to play the Patriots. The Broncos are going to beat the Colts because the Colts are going to be moving into a cold weather stadium, and I don't think that they're going to be able to adjust. Again, weather is also going to be a huge element of this year's playoffs. We'll get more into that, especially in the NFC. And then you're going to see the Bengals. I think they beat the Patriots earlier in the year in inclement weather, but I think the Patriots are, again, a team that is so banged up and took advantage of a somewhat soft schedule there down the stretch that you're going to see the Bengals are going to be able to go into Foxborough and knock off New England, leading to the AFC Championship, Bengals versus Broncos. And honestly, again, I love Mike Zimmer's defense. I think it is masterful. It is a piece of art, ladies and gentlemen. And I am still of the old school mindset that defense wins championships. And you can say, well, the new modern NFL, that doesn't work. But you look at all the Super Bowls, and still the only team with a proficient offense to win the Super Bowl was the Super Bowl 34 Rams. Okay, and even then, they only won 23-16 over the Titans. I don't think that offense, as good as it is, it can win you some games, but it's not going to win you championships. Mike Zimmer's defense, while Peyton will still have a good game, with how bad the Denver Broncos defense is, as long as Andy Dalton, again, doesn't mess things up, I really think the Bengals are going to knock off the Broncos in a nail-biter. So the Bengals from the AFC will go to the Super Bowl. In the NFC side, this weekend, Eagles are going to demolish the Saints. Look, folks, the Saints, they made a nice run. They got a little bit of momentum on their side, too. But the Eagles had a win-and-in game. They're in Philadelphia. It's going to be freezing. And Sean Payton's big adjustments this week was giving the team new sweatsuits and new Gatorade. I'm sorry, but that's not going to help you in the cold weather. And the fact is that the Saints play awful on the road. They're 3-5 on the road this year. Historically, they're a 500 team at best. I don't think they're going to be able to go into Philadelphia, and especially with the Philadelphia Eagles having the best running game in the NFL and a very solid defense, I don't think the Saints are going to be able to overcome the inclement weather. The only team that I think will be able to overcome the cold weather this weekend, the San Francisco 49ers. I think they are the only team that is right now a lower seed that will beat the higher seeded team, because I think Green Bay got even lucky to even get into the playoffs. And even with Aaron Rodgers back and the rust shaken off after last week's game against the Bears, I really think that you can't. I'm sorry, but just the idea of the Niners defense terrifies me. Navarro Bowman in the middle is just a monster. He is everywhere on the field. I can't see a way that even with Aaron Rodgers there, that the Niners don't put up a lot of points, because Colin Kaepernick and Frank Gore are not affected by the cold, and I don't see a way that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to put up more than 21 points on this Niners defense. So, Niners beat the Packers, Eagles beat the Saints. That means in the divisional round, the Niners will go to play the Seahawks, the Eagles will go to play the Panthers. Look, nobody can win in Seattle. It's damn near impossible. I know Arizona did a couple weeks ago, but it was a bit of a fluke. Seattle was due to have a letdown game at some point during the season. They had it. They got it out of the way. They're going to be hard to beat in Seattle, and I don't think the Niners are going to be able to do it. Seattle knocks off San Francisco. I then think the Panthers, I think that defense is just too much. I think the defense wins championships. The Panthers' defense is better than the Eagles. I think Cam Newton, all he has to do is play ball control. All he has to do is not turn the ball over, make a couple big plays, and just like he's done all year long, you'll see the Panthers eke out a win over the Eagles. That means Carolina has to travel to Seattle. Again, I think this will be a close game because you have two amazing defenses playing. And while Carolina's defense might make a couple plays that make this game interesting and maybe even give them a win, I'm going Seattle on this one. I gotta say, Seattle at every position has the most talent of any team in the playoffs still. They are the most talented team out of the 12. Seattle will beat Carolina and will then face Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. And again, two great defenses, but I still think again that Seattle has the most talented team overall. And I think, especially in this case, I think Pete Carroll is a better coach than Marvin Lewis. It's just a fact. I mean, he's won playoff games. He has that team riding a high right now. And I think that Lewis, the fact that he wins any playoff games after going 0-4 in his first 4 playoff appearances with the Bengals, I think he's going to, probably is a good thing for him. But I don't think it's enough. And I think that Pete Carroll's experience and I think the talent around him is going to be able to overcome the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Seattle Seahawks will win their first Super Bowl ever. So those are my predictions for the NFL playoffs. Let me know what you guys think. My Twitter is @RayCarsillo. By all means, I've already discussed this with a few folks. Some people think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm out of my mind. Some people think I'm a genius. My girlfriend's very nice. But anyway, so that's basically it for this week's episode of From My Man Cave. I want to thank everybody for watching. Again, go to @RayCarsillo on Twitter or comment below. It's YouTube. It's what it's here for. We'll talk more about that stuff next week. What happens, obviously I could be right, I could be wrong. Hopefully we're going to have some more graphics and some more segments, and this will evolve. But this is just the first episode. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and I want everybody to have a safe and enjoyable first weekend in the NFL playoffs. And until next time, I'm Ray Carsillo.